running. Both feel we're living worlds apart. It's fucked now, we lost in limbo. Remembering what you said though, and I asked you if we'd make it far. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she said no, 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 no. No, 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 you should. I've earned the cost and now I've paid it. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, please don't go. I know my face a memory erasing. Been a few years since I heard your voice, yeah. Lost a few here, but it's not by choice, no. Girl, I see your face every day when I look through my phone. Can't delete all these memories, won't leave me alone. Hit my blind side, never saw you coming. You were so wild, but no, I was nothing. And I'm nothing now, nothing's changed. You know I'm just the same. Miss you now, but I hope that someday you explain. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she...
Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Today is August 19th, 2023. It is 7:32 p.m. in the East Coast of the United States. Thank you all for joining me. You could have chosen to be anywhere, but you chose to be here, and I'm thankful for that. Thank you all. It's good to see you all in chat. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. So I have this scheduled for Dudley and Dawn. We're actually going to finish. I'm actually going to do something different, and we're going to kind of move the Dudley and Dawn. I'm going to switch the cover, but I wanted to go over, finish at least work on some more of the Chris McDonough interview with Dawn's call. I think it's very valuable because I think a lot of it's there's a lot of focus on Fred. There's a lot of focus on this Cotton guy. And in my opinion, it hasn't swayed anything at this point. So I thought we could go back and listen to, and Smiley gave me permission to listen to a call that she made to the Hawkins County Department. I think it's 8 months ago now or so, and we could review some of that. Jam says, my opinion has not changed by any of the other players in the game that shouldn't even be in the game. Yeah. So, I mean, we're over 2 years in this. Could any person have done it? Yes, that is absolutely true. My suspicions are still on 110 Ben Hill Road. Angel, thank you so much for 9 months. God bless you. Thank you so much. I do appreciate sticking with me and being with this channel. That's very, very awesome. Thank you, hun. So, we're going to go over this phone call. I think it's really important. Um, and credit goes to Smiley's story for this. Mods, please put her link in the chat. It is also for the replay. It is in the description as well. Okay. Hello, hello. It's good to see you all. Praying for any of you guys that are out in Southern California right now, in that area, in the Southwest. Praying for you all. Hopefully, I know that the hurricane has dropped to I think a category 2, which is great, but that doesn't mean, it's still not a risk. So prayers go to all of you. So without further ado, we're going to get started with Smiley's story. She made this call, and I think it holds a lot of value of, I mean, this woman doesn't speak for the entire, department or anything. This is just her opinions and stuff, but it's still a good, something good to listen to, and we'll comment on it as we see fit.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Could y'all hear that? Just let me know if y'all could hear that. Prayers for your daughter, Scorpio. Grace, Marlena, hi love. Good to see you. Just let me know if y'all could have y'all heard that. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I'm fine. Well, my name is Tammy, and I was trying to call. I've been trying to call all week, but I never get an answer or a voicemail. And our phones have been down for a solid 10 days. We didn't get any phones until late Friday afternoon. Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. So, I was just calling. I was trying to find out a couple of things. I noticed, like, well, first of all, can you tell me how things are coming along with the Summer Wells case? Would you mind telling me that? Well, we are tracking down every lead. We're tracking them down. They've been back up there to search. They didn't find anything. There is activity on that case every day. It be nothing except return a phone call to somebody that says you left a message and you know something, tell me, Yeah. So do you think there's going to be a resolution in that case, or? Ma'am, if I had knowledge of that, I would go today and find her little body and resolve this issue. Yes, ma'am. I just don't know how it's going to turn out, but my gut instinct says it's been an awful long time. I know for a 6-year-old. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's very heartbreaking. It's really sad. It's really touched my heart. It's really heartbreaking to me too, and I worry about it so much. I worry because they don't come out and like give updates and stuff like that, and I know there's probably nothing new, but I mean, is there a reason that you think that, in your opinion, that they don't do that, or? Well, can I be perfectly blunt with you? You can be perfectly blunt and honest with me, because the reason I say
I mean, I'll be the first to say that I was very disheartened that they didn't give a 2-year update in the Summer Wells case. I wish that would have happened, but it didn't. So, I don't know what that means.
That is, and let me just say this first, is because you see all these other cases where they come out and they give conferences or they at least keep you updated and stuff like that. And I just want honesty from people,
Well, I mean, they're not trying to hide anything. It's just that, with, well, to be perfectly blunt with you, they're damned if they do and damned if they don't.
Damned if they do, damned if they don't. I mean, I think a lot of YouTubers feel that way sometimes as well. I get that part. Stephanie, so long. I think this woman has been in the department I think she's just a secretary or something, but like 30 some years. So she knows probably a lot, that's who we're listening to. I think the judge investigation, what was that? Took away from Summer, sadly. I don't think it took away from the case whatsoever. I don't think it has anything to do with the investigation of Summer's case. Now, with adoptions and stuff like that, child court, it's going to delay things, of course, until they get someone else in there when it has delayed. But as far as Summer's case, they're not connected in the slightest.
Yeah.
You would not believe the stuff that people have said to me about my sheriff's department.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that they are working their butts off.
Mm-hmm.
And but if you don't have anything new to say, and you come out and you go on to the news and say, well, sad as it is, we don't have anything new and we don't have anything additional to tell you. Well, then the next thing that happens is, that damn sorry department, they need to be having somebody that knows what they're doing to do this investigation, when I don't know what else they'd like, because the FBI is involved in it, the PBI is involved in it, Hawkins County Sheriff's Department is beat up with it, they're so involved with it. I don't know who else they would like for us to call in.
I think
to make it magically happen.
Yes, ma'am. I think a lot of it is because a lot of people, I think a lot of it, they put their trust in Ronnie and they had a lot of trust in Hawkins County Sheriff's Department up until a lot of that come out about Brandon Lawson. And I don't mean.
Do you have children?
Yes, ma'am, I have 4. I have 4 grown.
Are you responsible for what your children do?
No, I'm not responsible for No, ma'am, I'm not responsible for what they do. But to an extent, I don't hide what they do either. And the problem with that lies where Ronnie was on Summer's case or ahead of it or whatever. And, this is where people has a problem, is where and I don't just blame Ronnie, and, people don't just blame Ronnie. So I'm trying to be very respectful with you. I'm just being, talking to you, is where, so he sat on this for a long time, while he was on this case. You asked me, did I have children? So I couldn't sit on something my child did like this for a while. And and TBI did too. So I also blame TBI, because if that was you or me or anybody else, trust me, Ronnie or Hawkins County or nobody else is going to have your back or your child's back either, to sit on it, to be hush-hush, or have special investigations come in and wait until the time is right for your child to go have special whatever. Although you work for them, that's not going to happen. If something ever in the future should happen to your child or your grandchildren or anybody else, they're not going to have your back. You know, they're not going to have Miss Becky's back or Miss Becky's family's back. And they're not going to have Miss Tammy's back or, anybody else's back for that matter. So that's where lies the biggest problem right there. And TBI would not either. So that's where a lot of the disturbance comes in at. And no, although Ronnie's not responsible, a lot of it comes in there. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
That's a hard pill to swallow. And, so then people go back and then they look at things with fresh eyes and from the beginning, and then they go, well, things were done like this and that before we even knew about Brandon, and then this is how, it is.
I mean, in my opinion counts for 50 cents. Just let me clue you in.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
But I don't see where Brandon and some of Wales have anything in connection. Number one, Ronnie is Brandon's father. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie didn't know this happened. Didn't know that it was being investigated until all the people had been involved and had been talked to, and everybody had. And then, out of common courtesy, my investigator from this office went to Ronnie and said, look, we need to make you up to par and let you know that your son is going to be charged with this.
Mm-hmm.
So, and as far as Summer, yes, he is the elected sheriff, but, he doesn't run the FBI, don't run the TBI.
I'm not trying to speak for Smiley here, but what I think Smiley is saying is, sure, it has nothing to do with the Summer Wells case, but how it affects the department is ultimately, if you're bogged down with all of, the politics of your own son, it can affect all the cases. But I personally think that Ronnie Law, I fully support the police department in Hawkins County. I think the majority of them are good people. Of course, TBI is amazing. But I get exactly what Smiley is saying, and that is true. It can bog down the department when you're kind of encased with things going on, with what's going on.
And he has had 2 officers dedicated to this case from the moment she went missing.
Yes, ma'am.
They report to him and say, this is what's happening, or this is what I've done, or this is what, this crazy lady said when she called,
Yes, ma'am.
I had a lady call me last week before last, that told me that she was Summer Wells and that I needed to make arrangements for her to meet her mom and daddy for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
and God. She had to be 60 years old.
My God. Yeah,
you're dealing with those, and I don't mean to be this disrespectful, because, there's mental illness in every family. But, slackos are hindering this investigation with stuff like that. Because when I get that message, or when the officer gets that message, it has to be checked out.
Yes, and I agree.
There might be an ounce of something that would be important to that craziness. And
It's very important. Law enforcement, TBI, they want first-hand knowledge, not that a friend of a friend of a friend told me that this happened or whatever. They want first-hand knowledge. So you always need to, tell that the first person that found this out to make sure they call Hawkins County TBI. That's who they want to speak to. They don't want to speak to a friend of a friend of a friend or, whatever. They need first hand knowledge. It's very important. That's when you should call TBI.
have to stop what you're doing and check it out.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
that's just time delay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. And I 1,000% agree with you there. Because we have people saying, if there's pictures floating around, which I know y'all know about stuff like that, if there's this child or that child that somebody puts out, or, that don't need to be checked out. No, everything needs to be checked out. It has to.
Everything that we get wind of is the officers stop what they're doing, lay that aside, and work on this like it's hot fires.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
there might be something important.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so I agree with that. Well, let's see. Can I ask you, now I heard, okay, so, well, we can, I guess, get out of the way. Ronnie has no intention of stepping down or anything because of what Brandon did?
No.
Okay.
I mean, if my son or daughter was drunk, killed somebody yesterday, would that cost me my job when I've been here 37 years? No.
Okay, does he intend on speaking on it or anything like that, or is he just gonna go on about his daily routine?
Speaking on what?
On his son being arrested. I'm just wondering, I'm just asking.
Well, I don't know what he intends to do, but if it were me, I'd say no. My son was dealt with the judicial system. He's now in jail where he is serving his time, and I don't see where I owe anybody any explanation because, I am a hurt parent. My heart's hurting. That's my kid. God knows I didn't want any of this for him. But, no, I don't intend to drag it out and talk about it. That's where I would be if I were him.
Yeah, it's just that people think that, and I'm not just speaking for me, but it's just people think that he did not get, or maybe he got special treatment because even looking back in, even, let me just put it this way, even with Don Wells, Don got more time with his DUI than Brandon got with what he did, saying, for worser crimes that people do, people do lesser crimes and get more stuff. Brandon, do you get what I'm saying? And that I guess
I understand exactly where you're coming from, but that case was handled in the Greenville office, and it was the deal. The charges were placed in the Greenville Greenville office.
This
The
gets
whole
better.
amount of what he was going to be sentenced to was placed in the Greenville office. But I will tell you this. It'd be real hard to be on probation for 20 years.
Well, yeah, I agree. But can I ask you why Dan Armstrong did not handle that case? I'm just being blunt. Why was it handed over to Greenville?
Because Richie Collins and Cecil Mills, who are the senior ADAs in the Greenville office, they were the ones that it was first reported to. They are the ones who did all the interviews. And, Dan, they told Dan what was happening, but, Dan he's spread thin sometimes between 4 counties.
Yeah. But it was his jurisdiction. Why did he choose to hand it over to them? Why
He didn't hand it over to them. It was they were the two people who came when the girl walked in and wanted to report it. They were the two people who interviewed her first. So after all these people were interviewed and everything, and they talked about it and talked about it and talked about it and talked about it, there's no reason, for Dan to say, well, I'm the elected official, and I'm going to go to court and do the presentation. There's just no reason for him to step in because Cecil's got 40 years of experience and Richie's got 18.
Why did they bring in
there's just no need.
Why did they bring in a special judge? I'm just trying to understand all of this. Why did they bring in?
Well, the reason if the same scenario, if my kid killed somebody drunk tomorrow or yesterday, they would bring someone in because our judge has to deal with our sheriff, and he refused himself. He would just rather someone handle it that has no affiliation with our sheriff's department. And they often do that. It's very common. That's no special nothing.
Well, so does Dan Armstrong think he's going to get any kind of conviction on the Summer Wells case at all? How does he feel about that?
Well, ma'am, we can't convict somebody till we find somebody who did it. You've got to have a defendant before you can have a conviction.
Okay, but you stated earlier, in your opinion, it come out of your mouth, you feel Summer Wells is dead, correct?
Well, I feel like it is logically probably so. It's just, where is she? We've looked everywhere. We've looked every rock. Where is she? And she's, it's been over a year. But nothing in my heart would make me any happier than her to open my front door and I'd recognize a little angel.
Yes.
I swear I would.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Ronnie keeps saying everybody's a suspect and everything's
Wait for this.
Thank you, Annabelle. Thank you so much for 5 months. Appreciate your support. It means so much to me. Thank you all. Thank you, all the members. I do appreciate you. Okay, and Smiley just said, wait for this.
Well, it is. Until you get a definite defendant or a definite cluster of defendants, meaning 1, 2, or 3, or whatever, everybody is a potential suspect.
Well, you have the neighbor who keeps going around saying, "Oh, I'm not a suspect. I've been told that."
Our law enforcement and me, even you, I'm responsible for what I say and do. I can't comment on what the neighbor said or what she thinks she is or what she thinks she ain't. It just, if she's fooled enough to think that she is exonerated and she's absolutely cleared, then, that's her own assumption. No one has said, "Sister, you're free and clear."
So you can't, she couldn't be, in other words, she's still a suspect. Is that correct?
Everybody is a suspect until we get somebody that walks in their office or that sheriff's department up there and says, I took some of Wales.
Little Texas Tornado, 17 months. Thank you so much, my love, for being here from the beginning. I do appreciate you. Love you so much. Thank you. Listen to this very carefully, y'all.
I know where she's at, and they lead us to her. Everybody is a potential suspect because we have no clue what happened to that baby girl except she's missing.
Yeah, and I understand that.
That is the one thing we are absolutely positive of. She is missing. She is not in her family's home. And she is not attending the school that she should be attending, as a first grader.
Mm-hmm.
Those things we're positive of.
Mm-hmm.
But all the rest is just
baloney.
Opinion or suspect, or baloney. You're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Baloney is a good word for it.
I think it's a distraction. I think people want to distract. That's what I think. And why is the question.
I will tell you this. We have spent many hours trying to verify, just crazy conversations, that I've had with people.
Uh-huh.
I jot everything down that's said, and I turn it over to the officer, and then it's his job to filter it to see if there is anything. But there again, if he's wasting time filtering when she's,
Sonia, thank you for becoming a member, my love. Let's welcome Sonia to the family. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome. Come on in. Thank you. It's very important what she's saying here.
shooting bullshit,
Yeah.
then you're wasting precious time that could be used to find her.
Yes. So I just know, that also too sometimes.
You know who has doesn't have a good story, a good alibi, in my opinion? Don and Candace, saying their phones was wiped clean, all three of them, from 3 p.m. onward. Oh, about the time Summer went missing. The parents, which a 95% statistics say that it is a parent or family member or someone who is close with the family. Did I miss someone? Did I miss someone? I don't want to miss. I don't know if I missed someone or not. I'm trying to see here. It dinged. Oh my God, Vet Girl. Thank you so much. TBI, nothing wrong with this here. Hello, maybe move this case up and out. AG of Tennessee, this is okay. Just checking. I agree. I agree, Vet Girl. I think this needs to be, and thank you so much. Let's give Vet Girl a thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Vet Girl. It's very generous of you. What are we like? What's going on here? You know, is this, has the Attorney General ever seen this even? Just don't understand. Don't understand. Oh no, we can't leave out Grandis. Absolutely not. I mean, to be fair, Grandis has been around two people of her family members that have gone missing. I personally, I think she might know or have a really good hankering in what went on, but I don't think she's the mastermind in it. But still, out of everybody on that hill, Grandis has been around two of her family members, you know, lived around them or lived with them, and they've been missing.
They can prosecute without a body. And so I just wondered if, that was...
Well, I have been here 37 years in this office, and I've witnessed and participated and helped prepare many, many murder trials in that length of time in my capacity as a legal secretary here. And I have never seen a trial with an extensionary. You have to have a body under Tennessee law.
So if they never find Summer Wells, then I guess the people just walk free. In Summer Wells's case, unless you have a strong tip or something like that or proof.
I want to say this part is very disheartening for me because the way Don has made it seem, that the way he's made it sound, is that Summer would never be found. And we just can't live with that. God can unearth anything, and I pray that he will.
And that's what I'm just kind of afraid of.
Well, we all have the same fear that she will never be found and no one will ever serve time or she will not have justice. I mean, that's a fear we all have, but it's awful because she turned out to be a 5-year-old child, but man, I've got 7 other people that are missing in Hawkins County.
Yes, ma'am. And
they're
go ahead, I'm sorry.
I mean, there are just, all of them are active cases and all of them are, all of them are worked periodically at times.
There's a lot of those, we haven't heard about. Is there a reason for that?
Some of these cases, Dudley Rogers will review. Just less than 3 months ago, they wrote an article on every one of them.
Okay. I'll go back and look. I try to tend to search it every day, but I could have easily missed it. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. It really is.
And I don't mean to cut this short, but I've got a doctor's appointment in 20 minutes, and I've got to go across town.
Can I ask you one more question, and I'll let you go?
Sure.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to. Is it true? There's rumor. Is it true that Ronnie Lawson's daughter is sick and they don't expect her to make it? Is that a truth or a rumor?
Well, I feel like that's a question you need to ask Ronnie.
Well, I would if I could actually get a hold of him. He's a very hard man to get a hold of these days.
He does have a daughter, and that's all I'm going to say.
Is she sick? Let's just say, is she sick? Can we just do that?
What does it matter?
Well, maybe a lot of people might ease up on him a little bit. I just kind of heard that.
Instead of people, I'm sorry, but, where's the people's forgiveness in this mess? Can you imagine having to live with this as an elected official and it being your son? Can you imagine the hurt and horror that you're living with?
Well, yes.
And I just don't understand where Brandon Lawson doesn't have anything to do. Anything.
Well, can I ask you this? Where was Brandon Lawson? Did even his dad ask on June 15th of 2021? Do we even know?
So, sometimes I wonder if more phones were involved on June 15th. Did they have other phones? Like, let's say Fred Hill, for example. If he did something, right, obviously he's going to turn his phone off. If he was going to that junkyard, right, he should have hit every tower going to that junkyard. But also, he should have picked up Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi's on. It's constantly grabbing. Go down your street. Do this, guys. Go down your street. Put your Wi-Fi search on. Drive down your neighborhood. Your phone is going to ping. It's going to try to grab every Wi-Fi connection. So just because you have the data off, your phone data off, doesn't mean you turn the Wi-Fi off. Your phone is going to try to grab your neighbor's Wi-Fi. It's it's going to connect. So I'm hoping that something like that authorities have. Justin, I drove by Ben Hill, 3 phones and no Wi-Fi or internet. Justin, I drove by Ben Hill, 3 phones and no Wi-Fi or internet. Like you try my wrench, are you saying you didn't have service there, or are you saying your phones didn't ping off of anything? My Wi-Fi tries to connect to other car Wi-Fi too. Yes. I have Wi-Fi in my car, right? So any phones that are around me, it's going to try to pick up my Wi-Fi, but if they don't have my password, they can't get in. Candace said on daisies, where was that? If she searched the woods and found Summer, she would have to scoop her up and she would mess up the crime scene. No service or phones didn't connect. My Ranch, when is the last time you did that? Because every time except the last time I was down, which was June 15th of this year, I didn't have service. I never had service on Ben Hill. Now, on June 15th, I had service to almost Fred Hills. Right before Fred Hills is where I lost service, which is at the very, very end of the hollow. But I didn't check the Wi-Fi. We didn't get service until we got a tower June 15th this year. We didn't get service until we had. Jody Sue says a lot of people cannot even get satellite internet. Yeah. Duchess says I had no signal from Beach Creek at Solomon's Church on Verizon. Only one person got a signal at the church, AT&T and Solomon Church. I mean, I was live when I was at the bottom of Ben Hill Road. So, and again, I don't know if it was my phone. I have AT&T. I don't know if it was my phone that was doing it or if I was in my car and it's got Wi-Fi, and I don't know if it was the Wi-Fi from that, but still it's got to do it the same way. Yeah, Verizon and all three. Yeah, I did have good reception this year. I couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. Because usually, like, you know, when you sometimes when you don't really have service, it'll show no bars. But then when you really don't have service, it'll show that circle, and every other time I would just have that circle, with the no service. Yes, but the phones had to ping coming in and out of the area, correct? Yes, and that is why if Summer Wells wasn't abducted where they live, I think this case would have been solved by now. But I think because of the service, I mean, authorities had trouble even with their communication. Don't forget that, right? They had to bring in special towers. AT&T, I think, brought in one and all of that. So, I think it would have been solved a long time ago if it hadn't have been where it is. But I think that is what has really held back this case. I have Wi-Fi on my Infinity, but still no connect. It depends. Yeah, I mean, it depends. All it is just a hotspot in your phone, in your car. It's basically just a built-in hotspot, and it bounces off a tower the same as your phone. So, Mystic, thank you, my love. 1 month, appreciate you, my dear. You can't tell me someone hasn't said anything yet. Uh, I don't know what you exactly mean by that, Mystic. Hasn't said something about like the case. Is that what you mean? If only we could get service with AT&T there. why bother with other services there? So a lot of the cell phones, particularly the burner phones, you can have, it depends on the phone. Sometimes the phone, and sometimes, like if you're using Straight Talk, which is a Walmart based, you know, burner phone, they usually use AT&T and Verizon. But it can also depend on which type of phone you have, which will use the towers. They borrow the towers. Um, does the information include burner phones? And I believe they could have known the phones could be tracked and left behind. A lot of criminals have figured that out. Yeah, well, to me, it was interesting that Candace said she, threw her phone down and went to get her mom's phone. But, like I was talking about Fred Hill, his should have, I personally don't think Fred Hill has anything to do with it, as from what I've learned so far. But he was going to the junkyard that day, so it should be up, following wherever he said he went. The police are going to check that. And if his phone was off for an extended period of time, it wasn't, pinging off the towers, well, then there's a problem there. Why is your phone off? And just like Don and Candace, the problem with that is, was their phone off? Now, where they live, they may have not gotten good service, so it may have not been pinging off the towers much in the first place, getting service. But when they take the phones in, it will tell them if they have physically shut down the phone. It'll tell them if they have just turned the data off, that kind of thing. So the tower will convert any service into what is needed via leftovers to go out. Yes. Some models of phones do make a drastic difference in where you can get a signal. Absolutely. So there's that. Did Daisy speak? Oh, I don't know about that. That's for the other channel. Even though through PA on highway, no cell signal in valleys, great signals going over the mountains. So again, like I had Wi-Fi. Don claimed he and Candace stayed connected all the way. And that's exactly right, Strawberry Kisses. He says, we stayed connected the entire way. No, you didn't. You didn't. Not 2 years ago. Not 2 years ago. I don't believe that for a second. He also says, in a different interview, he also says when he got to uh, the bottom of the hill where the shed is, that he had called Candace, but I thought you were already on the phone with her the entire way. Unless they met up. Yes, unless they met up, which I do think there had to be some type of transfer. Let me find this. 1 second, y'all. Just give me one. Okay, so we're going to finish this phone call for replay. And everyone, if you haven't subscribed to the interview room, where have you been? This is Chris McDonough from the interview room. He has given us basically, the foundation of this case from the beginning, from, what the parents said from the beginning to their house, what happened that day, more than any other that I have, seen. So, credit goes to Chris from the interview room, replay crew, and all of that. If you haven't subscribed, his link is in the description below. And mods, please put Chris's link in chat as well. This is a really important interview because Don really says some wackadoodle stuff, some real wackadoodle stuff. And a 911 call was placed at the 5-year-old and a 7-year-old were waving and passerbys. Hold on, what did that say? He originally said, sorry, my thing is slowing down. 2 seconds. He originally said he knew Summer was not been found because nobody, Candace hadn't called him back. Then he changed it to we're on the phone together the whole time. Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Gina, so much, my dear. Thank you for all the hard work you put in for Summer. Thank you, sweetheart. I do appreciate you. Let's give a clap out for Gina there. Thank you so much. All right. So we're going to comment on this and see if anything, in our thoughts has changed. Have they said anything since that, would go against what they said 2 years ago?
But it's just, they don't even sink into them, seems like to me. I don't know if they're really listening to me or just.
So this is my part two to this because it's a long interview. And if you missed part one, definitely go back to part one and watch that. So this is in the middle of the same interview.
I don't know what TBI. They don't say nothing.
Now walk me through that. Were you in the joint with him?
No. I've been trying to straighten my life out for years since I found God.
Right.
I was locked up in Utah.
You see, he's lying right there because Jose, anybody that will tell you Don was not religious at all, when I asked Jose, was Don ever religious? He's like, what, Don? Religious? And Common Sense True Crime put out a video earlier, and it's if you remember that video, it's of Don right when Summer went missing. He's standing in front of the church and he's like, God, forgive me, basically of my sins from here on out, Lord, I'll follow you, something to that effect, So was that why he got really religious? I mean, listen, no disrespect to anyone's religion or anything, but a lot of people don't get very religious until trials come into, like real trials come into their life, until they've hit rock bottom. Was it because Summer is missing, or is it because guilt or he did something, allegedly. So there's that.
And drugged back to prison many times for nothing.
Right. I remember you told me this.
I'm not perfect. I'm by any means. I've done stupid crap. And you get in that revolving door. You can go out and sell drugs or whatever you want, and you're just going to get a slap on the wrist, do 4 or 5 months, and back out. Everybody knows that.
Right, right. You get violated, and it's
like a free party, kind of.
Right. And yeah, I remember you told me that you were at Hill Air Force Base, and your PO told your boss and kind of snitched you out, and that kind of.
They come out there too deep, and whatever they told my boss, he was just shaking in his boots. He's like, "Man, I can't do this."
Yeah.
So they got me fired.
And what were you in custody for? Can I ask you that?
Well,
I mean, I can find out. You know that.
Well, yeah. Somebody was. This guy I was having a hard time with. He was messing with my sister, causing her a lot of trouble, and that's just an excuse. There's no excuse for what I did.
Don, you was messing with your sister. He doesn't want to tell people, like what he did in the past and stuff.
But I hot-wired his truck. I took everything out of his garage, Harley stuff, everything, and loaded through the back truck and sold the truck and all for nothing. But there's no excuse. I did what I did. It was wrong.
Okay. I've heard worse. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, that, stuff like that.
What else you've been locked up for? I mean, what other things have you done?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Come on.
I've made sure.
Isn't it interesting how Don doesn't remember when it comes to things that he really should remember? Isn't it interesting? He doesn't remember why he was locked up in the past. He doesn't remember after 3:00 that day. That's interesting, isn't it? But if it benefits him in any way, by gums, he remembers that.
Trips to Mexico,
Were you running? Were you running down? Were you running down?
Yeah, I bought cocaine, and
yep.
Totaled a brand new truck coming back out of Mexico once, just up for days on end, thinking I'd get out in the middle of nowhere, think the Indians after me, I'd get back out on the freeway, and I think the cops after me. I didn't know which way to turn.
Don has been to Mexico more than one time. His sister or sisters had to go bail him out before. I mean, he's been in trouble his entire life.
Out in the middle of the desert,
And you used to take the 5 down or the 15?
Yeah. I think, we went to El Paso.
Oh, yeah, Texas.
Yeah. And I just turned, and that turned into a big nightmare.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah,
yeah.
That's like the
core. I was lost out there in southern Utah somewhere. I didn't know which end was up or down. And, yeah.
So you were running dope. You've done, it sounds like you stole the guy's truck, and then.
Well, let's just say I tried to run dope. Okay. It's hard for a doper to run dope.
Yeah, that is it.
It's hard for a doper to run dope. And we hear that story about Dudley trying to go get his paycheck. And someone was there who allegedly, went to jail. Some say he went to jail, some say he was out of town, and they were fighting because Don had either used up or sold all of his Coca-Cola. And people can get really mad about that and do things. I don't know if that happened. None of us do. But in my gut, I feel like if Don and Candace didn't have anything directly to do with it, they know the reason. They know the reason, in my opinion.
That is
I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's a very true story, man, right there.
Yeah.
Right there. And now, what about when this thought process comes to my mind here for a minute about what was she wearing that morning when you...
The same... Well, when she was asleep next to me, I'm not sure. As I just woke up and they stayed in bed and I got gone to work. And I'm not sure, but I know the picture of her.
Peas in a Pod says, but they will unalive the person that owes them big money. Well, sometimes they will, yes. But like the mafia, they would never usually hurt the person. Because they wanted to hurt their loved ones. That is how they made them suffer even more. They wouldn't go after you. They would go after someone you loved and cared for, a family member, because that is more suffering, essentially. So, my opinion on that, but they would. So,
Where she's asleep by the milk jugs, that's what she was wearing when she was kidnapped.
Okay, so it's the same outfit.
Yes.
And is that the outfit Candace said did she change when she went back in the house, or do we know?
I don't think so. That's the outfit she was going to wear for her first day of school.
Oh, so this is the outfit. So it had some sentimental value for her.
Yeah.
Did she pick it out?
I don't know. I'm always at work, and I do. I'm glad she got to go to all these places with her daughter. For the first 2 years, 18 months or so, Summer, when she was born, she didn't want her mother. She only wanted me.
Wow.
And that just blew me away. I just couldn't believe it, that she only wanted me. And Candace coerced her all these years by taking her to all these places, fishing and stuff. And it took all this time to get, but Summer loved her mother. It took time. And I don't know why she was just so attached to me like that. I've never had anything like that happen to me before. And I was just so thankful, I thank God,
Yeah.
So I've never had anybody love me like that.
Yeah. No, I get it. What about, I want, now this one's going to be a hard question, okay? So,
it's all right, brother. It's all right.
Oh, well, I'm, being straight with you. So,
right.
What, your ex-wife, years ago, tell me about that scenario where, she went over and got the kids.
My ex-wife got the kids. I don't know.
Don's got amnesia.
Well, she said that, by the way, are you guys still on talking terms? I might as well clear this.
Yeah, we're talking. Yeah, I don't have no problem with her. I think she's gotten clean.
Okay.
She's had years of meth problems, but I think she's finally gotten clean and she's somewhat got her head straightened out.
Okay.
So we've been talking, but
yeah, there was, where she said that you were kind of spun out and, that your kids got with somebody else and, she didn't know about it and she went and got them. Can you?
I don't know anything about that. I have no idea. I never heard that anything like that.
Okay, and that's why I'm asking you. I mean, right? Yeah. I always go right to the source. You know what I mean? Right. And that kicks down a lot of information. Either way, and no matter what, I mean, people are gonna, you know, if she tells somebody this or that, there's a lot of he said, she said. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. That cocaine thing for me was really tough for me to get over for years, you know, and I'm not gonna say a lie to you.
Did he ever get over it? Because he was saying that the police gave Candace alcohol and the TBI gave him Coca-Cola. Really, Don?
Are you doing any drugs now? And will the cops?
No.
Did they take your blood?
They test us. Yes, I'm clean. I don't do nothing. I won't even pick up a beer.
Okay, so
well, for one thing, if I drink beer, then I do want that crap, so I won't even touch a beer.
Right. So, but they took your blood.
Yeah, they drug test us. Yes.
Yeah, that's typical in these kind of high.
He didn't say. Chris said they took your blood. He's like, yeah, they drug tested us. They didn't take your blood, did they? They did something else. P test, maybe.
Right.
Files like this. And what about Candace? Both of you?
Well, she was dirty for weed.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
But she quit.
If Candace was dirty for weed, there's no way. You listen. You can't have two addicts living together and one stay clean. It will not work. It won't work. You have to separate yourself from them to get clean. He said Candace was, pissed, I guess, for dirty weed or whatever. There's no way I think Don passed.
After all,
legitly at least.
All this happened with Summer. She's quit that, and now I'm just trying to get her to work on the alcohol.
Right.
Because I'm like, she started drinking last night, and she quit for like 2 days. I'm like, Candace, when you drink, it just makes it hard on me. Now I got to babysit you and everything else, and it just ain't right.
Now this is another hard question.
So Don freely admits that when Candace was on substances, he had to babysit her. This is the mother of Summer Wells. She was always lit. So who was watching the kids? If a grown woman has to be babysitted, who was watching the kids? That's your words, Don.
All right. Yeah. If and by the way, I had heard that too. So I was thinking through that. So that leads me to think: could she have been high, and that would have played a role in not necessarily, just where she's not paying attention or grandma's not paying attention. And does grandma smoke?
No, not at all.
Okay.
And the thing about that is she won't smoke during the day.
Okay.
And she will not drink.
Listen to this. Listen to Don. He says she will not smoke during the day. She won't do it. Won't do it. But then he says, wait till she wakes up of the morning. She's on it. You just said she didn't smoke during the day. You don't, listen to this.
Drive and smoke because she's so afraid that she's she's going to get a DUI and all that, and so she will not touch it.
Okay.
But she'll smoke a little bit at night. If she has a few drinks, she might smoke a little bit, and then she's going to bed. That's it. End of Candace.
Okay.
Till she wakes up in the morning, and then look out.
Got it.
Until she wakes up of the morning, then look out. Till she wakes up of the morning and then look out. What does that mean? She's doing it of the morning. I mean, you just literally told on yourself. Kitty cat's wake and bake. It's wake and bake, and I helped. Shake and bake. Remember that? It's shake and bake, and I helped.
And then what? Tell me about Hunter. What's his play here?
I have no idea what the deal is with that, because he's...
Jen, 7 months. Thank you so much, my love. Good to see you. Thank you, my love. Hope you're well. Thank you so much for 7 months of support. I really, really appreciate it, my love. Appreciate you.
Every time I've ever seen him, when he comes over to our house, you know, he plays with the kids. He's always been real gentle, real good. He always comes up and gives me a hug, and I try to be as nice to him as I can, because I know he doesn't have a father, or or whatever. He lives in town in HUD housing or whatever, so he don't get out in the country and stuff. And so I've just tried to be really nice to him, and he's always been good and give me a hug and everything every time I've ever seen him.
Okay.
And so this is all just since Summers disappeared and they all turned on us. That just blew me away. I'm like, why? It's like they're trying to divert attention to us for some reason.
And what about, and just, he said that obviously threw you guys, in different directions. And, and there's a lot of different, there's two sides always to every story.
Right.
And,
yeah, absolutely.
Some person says this, another person says that, but somewhere in between is the truth.
Yeah, that's right.
That's always the way these things unfold.
Yes.
And so, what about his mom?
You know what? I think the welfare. I know that she called the welfare on us. That's why the welfare was on us, and why they was worried about the weed thing, and they was fixing to close our case. But I think that she thought we called the welfare on her, and she was trying to get back at us. But we don't do that unless it's necessary.
Oh, so revenge again, right?
Yeah. We never called the welfare on her. We wouldn't do that unless, like I say, if there's a reason to, yeah. But other than that, we're not going to call just for revenge or whatever.
Right.
But I think that's why she called them on us, because, for revenge. But for why, what I still don't understand is why, when they found out the summer it was gone, that's the instant they turned on us big time.
Interesting.
The very instant, yes. Very interesting.
And why is that, though? Why do you think?
I started wondering, did they have something to do with her abduction? Because they was at the parade when the church made that banner for Summer, and they was walking down the.
This is a complete lie. Jody, or not Jody Sue, sorry, Jody. Allie was in traffic when this was happening. This is a complete lie from Don and Candace. I can't imagine any human being saying what Don and Candace are alleging here. Just wait for it.
Parade with Summer's picture on it. Yeah. They was sitting there at that parade laughing, pointing their fingers. You ain't got your little girl no more. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, that's messed up.
I wouldn't even do that to my enemies.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And
Candace cried. And it just.
I'm hoping that. I can't only imagine what that must have felt like. As a fan.
Right.
And what about, with what puts you in your mind that maybe he could be involved?
Well, I mean, because he'll do whatever his mother says for money, she'll give him money for cigarettes, or let him do his little thing, whatever that is. I'm not sure. Let him do his little thing if he lies.
Oh, you mean like Candace loading up a 15-year-old with nicotine and alcohol? Kind of like that, Don.
I'm getting this from Candace. That I know everything he said was just absolute craziness on your interview.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and then, but what would be his motive other than just to get back at? I mean, and plus, did he have access to her that day after Candace dropped him off?
Well, we know that we give that little girl, I can't remember her name ever. She's like half black, half white. I can't remember her name. Dang, I can't remember her name. But her and Summer loved each other, you know, and we give her a puppy. And that puppy, you know, when it got older, next thing we know, it's at our house. So we know they drove out there and dumped it off.
When?
At our house. Not sure when. Probably, you know, I'm not exactly sure when. Candace might be able to answer that question better than I can, you know, and maybe I can get back with you later or something.
Yeah.
But I'd say about, I don't know.
It was before
before summer. It was, yes.
Yeah.
A week or two before summer.
So a week or two before summer, Allie and H dropped off a dog or a cat, an animal. And so Don suspects them because of a week or two prior. He makes no sense. None. Just to throw anyone under the bus.
Disappeared, yes.
Okay, so I want to focus on, you know, that day, right? Because that's the critical part for us to kind of sort through, you know, what's reality, what's not reality.
Right.
And you know, we got dope on him involved, you know, in terms of different people, and you know, people tweak and hallucinate, and they do all kinds of weirdness, right?
Right.
So that doesn't help Summer.
No.
You know, we've got to make sure that we've got a clarity of focus on you know, what time it is here. Now here's another question then that comes to my mind. In your heart of hearts, what do you want to happen to the person that did this?
Well, I'm afraid if I run into him, it's not going to be good.
Okay, walk me through.
I really am. Well, I mean, I'm not a violent person at all. But when I see somebody hurt a little kid or something, I can't help myself.
This is very important, y'all. This is very important. When he sees someone harm a little kid or something, he can't help himself. But yet he's been in places where they've done unthinkable things to children, and he never did anything. Keep listening.
I don't know what it is. Something just triggers in me. If I see someone being cruel to, and it don't have to be my kid. It can be anybody's kid. I see somebody being cruel or cruel to an animal, I tend to flip. I don't know.
And yet, countless allegations alleging that he has been extremely cruel to animals.
Why? I don't mean to. I mean, you know, you got to understand that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean.
So what do you think should happen? What do you think should happen?
I have to leave it to God, you know, and I know what prison's like, and I have mercy for anybody who's in prison, because you're lucky if you get out of there alive.
Jody says they both were. Mm-hmm. What should happen to someone who took away your daughter. I don't know. I've been to prison. You're lucky if you get out of there alive. Good. Good. Somebody that does that to a child, harms a child, good. I mean, most of us parents who, this has always stuck out to me, this right here. Most of us parents, if something happened to our child, we would want them hung upside down from their fingernails. But Dawn's saying, no, I've been to prison. Keep listening. It's very disturbing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So would you want to see this person in prison?
I don't know if I could do that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
No, it just depends on all the circumstances, you know.
It depends on all the circumstances. Hello, Dawn. You're saying that someone came and took your daughter. You know the circumstances, right? Even if you're innocent, someone took your daughter. And you don't think nothing should happen to him? I can't with this. Like, I literally can't. I can't. Listen closely here. He reeks of guilt. Yes, he does, Debbie.
Hey, what if it was an accident?
Well, you know, that's different, you know. And accidents happen, you know.
Right. And could this have been an accident?
I have no idea. I know if Candace, you know, had an accident or something, she'd call the authorities right away.
Right.
I know that she's not devious like that. She's a good person.
I believe you.
She wants to be a good person.
And she wants to. And Don, yeah. I told you the first.
She wants to be a good person, not, you know, she is a good person. She wants to be a good person. Oh yeah, Tracy. Chris knows what's up. That right there set off red flags, alarm bells. I have never in my life ever heard of someone whose child was taken by another person say there shouldn't be, these people should not be in prison or worse, death. I mean, to me, it sounds like Don's putting it out there that, in my opinion, if they got caught, there should be mercy given. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. No parent, exactly, Chloe, no parent of a missing child would say that. It just wouldn't happen. Because you took, you know, for good parents and people who really genuinely love their kids and their kids are their life, you took away everything from them. And most importantly, you took away, most likely, a child's life, or at least have altered it in a way that is unimaginable to that child.
Time we talked, that I had a lot of respect for the fact that she talked And one of my thought process is, as this whole thing unwinds, I mean, is it possible that maybe Grandma hurt her by accident and it just got out of control? I mean, the goal here is to find Summer and to put the truth on the table, right?
Right. Well, I think if that was the case, she would have either called me or authorities right away. I don't think they would do that because I think they realize, even this much later, if it was an accident, it's better to go to the authorities and tell the truth. Accident's an accident. I don't think they're that stupid like that.
No, I'm not saying they are.
No, I know you're not. I'm not. I'm just saying I don't think they would. I just don't see that.
Is it possible though? I mean, I'm really trying to help you.
Right. And I've thought about that scenario myself, but when I think about the day that she called me hysterically and freaking out and everything.
She could have been calling out hysterically because of an accident too. I mean, she could have been calling because of that as well. And don't forget, Don said, I have 7 alibis. Candace, you're going down. You're going down. That's what he said.
Dang. I just don't think so.
Well,
I don't believe so.
But you see, it crossed your mind it could have been. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Okay. And because the worst case scenario is the last thing anybody wants. If this is an accident, then it's an accident.
Right.
Okay. And that's the way it is. Okay?
Yeah.
And then what happens then is everything gets shut down and everybody says, "Oh my gosh, it's an accident."
Well, if it were an accident, I don't think Candace would be on Facebook 24/7 for the.
Stormy, thank you so much, my love. My computer is running so slow, guys, today. I'm so sorry. This is good for people to hear. Thank you, Justin. Well, really thank Chris for this because this is, but there's been so much information in this case the last 2 years that go back to the beginning. Go back to the beginning. Thank you so much, Stormy. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Very kind of you. But it's very important right up here. Again, we're going to listen to it. My computer is running so slow. What's wrong with it?
First week, like I was,
right,
trying to get the story out, putting all the pictures out, and everything that she's been trying to do, and the same as me, trying to do the same thing, putting ourselves out there, getting, put down left and right, over and over and over, and crying, constantly. And that's the worst thing she can do is drink, because then she just turns to all tears. Even when the policeman brought her a bottle one night, I'm like, oh gosh, that was really nice of him, but man,
This is where he alleges that the police brought Candace alcohol. I don't believe it. I'll never believe it. Just like I won't believe they brought him Coca-Cola in, where was he at? I forget where he was, but he said.
Her emotions come out, and I'm sure I don't think it's possible. I really don't.
Okay, so then we have to ask ourselves, let's eliminate, did she fall down the stairs and, people, everybody, panics. Okay?
No.
I'm just thinking out loud. I'm thinking out loud.
Right. Yeah.
How does she get out of the basement? If that's
up them little stairs. She was real agile. I mean, she swing around like a monkey. She could pull her body weight up on a swing. The boys can't even do that.
Right. So from the moment Candace is dealing with Mom, and when do you think would have been the moment somebody would have snatched her?
Right. Either somebody was laying in wait in the basement, or that dog trail there, because if you just have a little bit of camouflage on, you're not going to see them.
Right.
And so they could have snatched her quick.
What did your boys say?
They were glued to the TV. They weren't, and you can't say nothing to them. They're just in la la land.
Right.
They were all glued to that damn TV and their games on their phones, and everything. So they,
Were they playing any games?
Yeah, they were playing games, and they was.
I'm sure the TBI even checked the game console to make sure the games was being played around that time even. I hope so. Candace said they were sleeping and also playing games. Some was sleeping, some was playing games.
On YouTube watching, I forget what that is, it's like a puzzle game where you build stuff on there. I don't know. I forget what it's called, but they loved watching that.
Oh, Minecraft?
Minecraft, yeah. I love that.
I used to call it Minecraft.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, exactly.
And so, what did each of your sons tell you?
Well, one time me and Josie, he just.
So he said, notice how, I'm going to replay that. Notice how he pauses there, because that is one thing, in my opinion, that he was not prepared for. They had this, in my opinion, literally verbatim what they were going to say. But that is one thing that what did they tell you? Don pauses.
Minecraft,
yeah. I love that.
I used to call it Minecraft.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, exactly.
And so, what did each of your sons tell you?
Well, one time me and Josie, he just started crying. I don't even remember what I said to him or what. And he says, "Dad, it's not my fault." And he was crying. I said, "I know, son. I know it's not your fault. I'm sorry, whatever." And I don't even remember what I said to him or what.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm having a little bit of a technical difficulty here. We'll get it fixed. Look at, I think it was Jody Sue that said, when you was down, is that right, Jody Sue? When you said you was down at the creek, you heard them say, "It's not my fault. It's not my fault." He is deflecting. He is definitely deflecting there, because he had no clue what to say at that. He had a response for everything, but that one he did not have a response for.
And I felt bad, but we ain't been the same. We ain't gonna be the same.
And what was your other boy say?
Wyatt told my wife that if he would have went downstairs with Summer like she wanted him to, she probably wouldn't be gone. He feels like he's kind of guilty.
Well, that's the thing. First of all, you should never blame it or, on another child like you do, Don and Candace. However, let's talk about that. How was some stranger or even someone that knew there was a house on that hill, how were they to know when there is no windows downstairs that you can see in, the door you cannot see in? How was this perpetrator to know that there was this little girl down there by herself that had just went down there? Parents don't even know if the door was left open or if it was closed. What if the perpetrator opened up the door and Don was down there or anything else? I mean, someone that kidnaps a child don't normally go very far from their vehicle because they want to be able to make a quick, fast exit. Now, they are way off the interstate, or from anywhere for that matter, on a dead end road. That's right, Michelle. They wouldn't know. They would not know. Now, someone that did know would know them, which is, it's a 95% chance of whether it is someone in the home or someone that they know. Well, Don's truck was there that day, so they would know that they would think Don was home, right? They would think Don was home because Don took the Subaru. They're less likely to think that kids were there because Candace's Subaru was gone. And if they were there, and the kids were there, alone all day, no one in, no way out.
The two.
And then your other?
Waylon's too young. He's just too young to understand right now.
And what were they playing hide and seek maybe?
No, they were all upstairs. The boys were playing Minecraft, watching Minecraft and playing games on their phone like they always do. They get stuck on it.
Right. Now, when the kids, their brothers and sisters, did they play a lot of hide and seek? That's a great place to play it up there in that.
Yeah, they have a few times.
Guys, please be respectful to Jody Sue in chat. We can be adults. Let's do it.
But at that time, from everything I've heard, they wasn't. And then two, they took the boys to some specialists somewhere to be questioned.
Oh, good.
Yeah, a couple times.
Okay.
Because they can't just come out and ask them questions. They have to take them to specialists. So they was gone for quite a while. They had to drive them quite a ways away.
Right. And what do you think they shared with them?
The truth. Yeah, just everything I've told you.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure is the absolute truth.
Yeah. No, kids have a tough time, depends on the totality of the circumstances. Yeah. But, go ahead.
Go ahead. And I called TBI and says, look, I'm going to go over here and get this address for you. I took off work, drove clear over there, got the address. I said, I think you need to check it out because they had a truck in service at that time that had that ladder rack thing on it. I says, it's not here now, but they did have one in the shop there.
And walk me through that truck. Where's that truck come into this?
I have no idea. Somebody said that they seen it parked in our driveway. when Summer got gone. So it's just the eyewitness account.
Now,
but that
at the bottom of the hill or the top of the hill?
In our driveway at the bottom.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
In our driveway at the bottom is what Don alleges the truck was. Now, Ronnie Lawson says that the person who saw the red truck that was in the area is a very well known person that, you know, that they would believe more or less that they seen a red truck, but they don't know if it has anything to do with Summer or not.
Yeah, in our driveway, you know, at the bottom. Somebody's seen it, supposedly. But that's all it is just an eyewitness account or whatever. And they've never found this truck. But it could have been the one where his dad works. They might have took that truck over there in prison as out on parole. And I mentioned all that to him. You know, I supposedly searched all them. But he probably, he could have, I don't know. When you got them kind of connections and you hang around with druggies, you know, and they're into all these, you know, criminal activities, you know, you can basically make a lot of stuff happen if you wanted to.
Right.
And stealing somebody's little girl is probably not too far-fetched.
Do you think she's alive?
Well, after all the dreams that I've had, you know, 2 of them sent to me via Facebook, and the one that I had and the one that Candace had, I'm not sure. She's either in a really well-to-do place or it was her last thoughts.
Interesting.
You know, because of the dreams. And I'm going to write those dreams down in writing and share them with everybody.
Yeah. And what about when you said early on your thoughts? Walk me through what you were thinking early when you were seeing her and in your mind in certain places, and even you know when I talked to you the last time, your thought about, you know, maybe she's dead and buried. Where did that come from?
Well, because the dream that I had, I'll just go ahead and tell you, I was at a construction site, but this was a commercial construction site, and I haven't been commercial since I left Houston. But this had these real big steel studs in it, and the day was just it was more beautiful than any day I've ever seen in my life. It was like perfect. And
listen to this, guys. I just got this. So Don is talking about it was the most beautiful day that he'd ever seen in his life. He's saying this is a dream. But I didn't do. Fox, I think it's Fox News, did an article on the 2-year mark. And Don says June 15th was a very beautiful day. And what does he say? Anyway, he implicates himself being there on June 15th, is what it sounds like. And now I'm wondering, this dream, because he says it's a beautiful day that he'd ever seen in his life, I'm wondering, is this really a dream?
And this building I in was beautiful, and I was working on it, and Summer was sitting there on the floor playing with her dolls or something, and she was dressed beautifully. I've never seen her so more beautiful. And it just, the dream was like heaven, I guess you could say. And I said, Summer, where were you? And she says, down the road, you know, and it was just like a perfect, beautiful dream, you know, that I can't explain. I haven't had no other dreams since whatsoever. And then Candace's dream was that they were fishing, her and Summer, and she caught a fish, and she was really super happy, and she reeled it in, she'd give it huggies and kisses and let it go. And that was the end of her dream. And, but yeah, and then had a woman in Florida contact me, said that she.
Okay, I have to show y'all this. I just found it. I have to show y'all this. This is from June 20th, 2023. This is when they did the, the update. The new, okay. This is Dawn's quote. Dawn's quote. I remember the sun shining, and I kept asking myself, how can my heart be so broke? It is so beautiful, and it was beautiful sunshine for 30 days after Summer's disappearance, her father, Don Wells, recalled of the day Summer went missing in a long-hour phone interview with Tim Mullen, a family spokesperson of the Wells. He remembered June 15th as a, quote, picture-perfect day when Summer wanted to go on the roof with her brothers. Now, how can Summer go on the roof with her brothers? How can he remember that when he was not home all day? He remembered his daughter as active and hands-on. She would follow her father when he mowed the lawn and roughhouse with her brothers, Wells said. Don Wells was in jail in October 26th. And yeah, that picture perfect day. And this is from this June. And the one Chris is talking about is from nearly 2 years ago. She was gone before he got home, allegedly. Well, it's interesting that he says that he had this dream and it was the most beautiful day, and he asked Summer, where are you? And she said, just down the road. Is she, Don?
She had a dream, and she said something about take care of Yucky, and make sure you tell Daddy take care of the dogs and stuff. And the woman's asking me, what does Yucky mean? I says, that was her dog named Lucky. She couldn't say Lucky, so we called it Yucky. And that's how it got its name, because she couldn't pronounce it Lucky.
That's awesome. I had a dog named Lucky.
Yeah, wow.
Years
and
ago.
then there was another,
Well, he says on June 15th, it was the most beautiful day. Summer wanted to go up on the roof with her brothers. Wanted to go up on the roof with her brothers. This is just complete speculation, what I'm about to say. And so I want you to know that it's just a theory, what I'm saying. Did she go up on the roof with her brothers and something happened? And then that's when Jody and Dawn, he says, one of the boys said, I'm sorry, I didn't do it. I didn't mean to. Did something happen up on that roof? And that's potentially when even Jody could have heard a scream. I mean, law enforcement says that they don't believe Jody that they heard a scream, but could that have been something happened and then they would have got negligent, because obviously you shouldn't have your kids on the roof. You are a true hero for Summer, Jan. Oh, thank you, Jan. Thank you, my love. I appreciate you. Love from New Zealand. Summer's touched so many lives all over the world. That's amazing. Thank you, Jan. So, what do y'all, Candace is and always has been checked out, in my opinion. Even the law could be lying because they can't. I mean, yeah, that is true. That is true. But, that makes me wonder, did something happen on the roof, or did she fall off the roof? I've never heard of kids going to a roof to play. Never ever. Well, I've never heard of anyone letting a 5-year-old before kindergarten play on a roof. For God's sakes.
A woman in Canada had a dream that she was sitting there on a bench with a swing on a porch, and she says, "Can I tell you a secret?" She says, "I miss my daddy. I used to stroke her hair and tell her I love her." And I told her that's what I used to do that all the time. And I never heard from her again after that. But, I mean, how would she know that? Someone says, "Can I tell you a secret?" But that's what makes me think that she could possibly be gone, in some of her last thoughts. Because, when you're in a bad situation, some of the thoughts you have before it's over, or whatever, like that. It might be something like that, I don't know. Yeah. But nobody's had any dreams, and I haven't had no dreams. Candace had a dream today that people were out to kill her and were chasing her everywhere, but I says, well, that ain't too far-fetched.
Yeah, help me understand, where you're at right now internally in terms of just Don dealing with, a lot of the moving parts and, stuff like that.
I'm really tore up. I loved her with all my heart, and she loved me with all her heart. I couldn't believe somebody could love me like that and look up to me like that.
And why is that? Help me understand that.
I don't know why she loved me so much, because nobody else in this world ever loved me like that. Like that.
In your past.
I want to show y'all this just real quick. I posted this today on my community wall. It's frustrating to me that so many people can witness aggressive or abusive behavior and know something is not right with a person, yet refuses to speak up to protect the victim, or worse, go out of their way to shield the abusive person from consequences. And I put Don and Candace in the background of that. Because if you're shielding a person who needs to get right, you're doing them a disservice, and you're doing the victim a disservice as well. Always stand with the victim. Sometimes, and you wish it was all the time, you're standing shoulder to shoulder with the parents, the family members, the loved ones. But unfortunately, sometimes it is the loved ones. Actually, more than sometimes, it's most of the time. But It's just no way to be. You always got to be for the victim.
Past? Well, walk me through why you feel that way.
Well, because when my parents divorced when we were kids, both of them got married, and we had step-parents. And our step-parents hated us, and and my mom went with my stepdad. Well, they need, it was just really mean. My stepdad kept me away so he could molest my sisters. Then I didn't know why he hated me and why he loved my sisters so much. And my dad, my stepmom hated me, didn't want me around, and my stepsisters and all them hated me too.
And who's that? Who are they?
Jeannie and all. I mean, not all of them, but they.
Okay, sorry about that. Just kept acting up. But the day after Summer Moon Utah Wells went missing, the family of Don's sisters, called either Hawkins County or TBI and let them know who Donald Wells was. And Don is kind of talking about it right here. I think that says a lot. Your child just went missing and your family automatically assumes, thinks, alleges that it was Don or involvement because they know who Don is since the time they were 5 years old, the age of Summer Moon Utah Wells.
I don't even know who it is, but I know I'm related to him through step family, but they claim that I did all this stuff, and and if they said anything, I was going to kill them and all that, and they didn't. Why? I don't understand why after all these years, Summer gets gone and automatically they turn on me, but I chalk it up to Dad was going to give me the house.
Okay.
And these are just tactics to keep me away. And I told him, I think through Facebook or whatever, I'll never call my dad again. I'll never talk to him again. You can have it all. You guys can fight over it. So
And that is exactly right, Kathy S. This is nothing, not even what they allege. Don has admitted this with his own lips. He's admitted this, but he likes to blame the victims, his sister, in this situation. Shame on you, Don.
You know, the last time I talked to my dad, my sister was there. She handed him the phone, and I never talked to anybody else, and that was it. So I won't call their number because stepmom calls them and tells them everything.
Is that you said, what was her name?
My stepsister is Jeannie.
Jeannie. And
yeah, we did have a relationship when we were younger.
And what was?
And she's just as guilty as I am. So she's trying to pull the wool over everybody's eyes, like she's a Miss Innocent and all this and that. Well, she's not.
Walk me through that. Help me understand.
I would rather not, but so we kind of had a relationship when we were younger. Yeah, I was a bit older. I had a dirt bike. You know, I don't know how old I was exactly, but she started dating her cousin, which was about 12 years old at that time. And ever since then, she just wanted me out of the picture. Ever since then. And it started all this hateful stuff ever since then.
And how old were you?
You know, I don't know. Maybe 15. I don't know.
And how old was she?
I don't know. You know, she was a lot younger than me. You know, and I thought this, and I remember thinking this, why would, I didn't think it was right. You know, but I was too young to understand how girls are too.
Walk me through that. When you say you didn't think it was right, what were you guys?
Well, because she was younger. Because she was younger. No, she would play with my thing, and I would play with hers. Okay. And that's about it. I mean,
okay. And how long did that go on?
I don't know. For a little while or whatever, but like when everything changed.
And who's Ronnie?
She ended up marrying him and having kids. That's her cousin.
And what about this other person you mentioned, Tish? What's her name?
Her daughter's name is Trish. And the last time I seen her, she was just a little girl. And then the other girl, I'm not sure who she even is.
Okay.
I don't know. They're all family. I hate my guts.
Right.
So that's fine. They don't want me around Dad. That's fine. Whatever. So I just don't call.
And you said they've come after you now? What do you mean?
No, as far as I know, they haven't come after me. My sisters tried to defend me, but I just told them I'll never call my dad again. That's fine.
Okay.
And so as far as I know, they're not. You know, I don't need all that bullshit. Even though it's bullshit,
is your dad still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive, but he ain't. He's like 85. So.
Oh, okay.
I mean, think about that. Dawn was 12 or 15, and she was 5. You know better. But Dawn, and this happened until, Dawn went to jail and he got out, and the very night he got out, he allegedly tried to sneak into the girls' bedrooms, and the girls ran out, told the parents, and unfortunately it was swept under the rug because of Dawn's dad.
Sure, they're all getting a big fight over that house when he dies.
And where are they at?
Utah.
What's up with the water in Utah?
Yeah, they have no water this year.
Yeah,
they didn't. They got reservoirs everywhere, and they usually get snowpack, and every spring it fills up all the reservoirs. But they didn't get no rain or snow last year.
Yeah, no, I know. It's like everything is like a low level of then historical. Wow.
You're right. Chair, or who was it? Peas in a Pod. And Don's dad enabled him to continue. Don's dad has bailed him out so many times. So many times in his life. And when you bail them out, there's no reason for them to get better. There's no consequences.
Yes. And so I heard that, people are throwing you under the bus on, everything. And so, of course, I have a show tonight. I'm a program tonight. Yeah. So one of the things that I want you to understand is in order to process information, you have to go through a process of elimination.
Well, beautiful sunflower, not only 30s and 40s, Benny said there was panties in his truck just, a year ago? A year and a half ago, that he found panties in Don's truck then. What a 60-year-old man. He hasn't changed. He's had no, it's just not gonna happen at this age.
Right? Absolutely. So that's why, no matter what happened, it potentially could be stinky tonight, is what I'm saying. Okay. Because, go ahead. That's fine. I'm listening to you, but you're fine. Because people, are going to say and do no matter what, right? Yeah, absolutely. So yes. We have to get to a place where it becomes so logical of what happened with Summer that it's not even, it's just there. Okay. And sounds good to me. And that's where the truth comes in. That's what we want, buddy. Okay. That's what we want more than anything. So now part of that is, and I don't want you mad at me, but part of it, we have to talk about your background. Okay? Oh, man. I know, but you got to understand, okay? But doing that might hurt me getting my boys back. That's what I don't need. That's why the lawyers told me not to talk to y'all at all. But
Don, they know your background, obviously.
Don, they already know your background. You know that, and I know that. Yeah. So it's not just like Candace. When Candace came out and people went, "Oh, wow."
Mama's the Boss celebrating 11 months. Thank you, Mama's the Boss. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me. Thank you so much for keeping me here. It means a lot, truly.
Okay? Yeah. And then, the boys are taken, okay? And I don't want to talk about the boys, okay? Yeah. In terms of that's where you were told don't talk about the boys by the court. Well, yeah. I've already mentioned I feel safe where they're at because I wasn't feeling safe for a while there where they was at. There's too much going on. Right. And that's where the court appointed attorney came in and the order from the court to say don't say anything about the boys. Okay. Right. That's the gag order you were talking about. That's what I was going to tell people tonight. Okay. But that at the same time, okay, we've got to look for, things that say, okay, where are we with this right now? And how do we help collectively in a straight heart? How do we
Jesse, the reason, because he can read through their bullshit. Chris can read through their bullshit, and they don't like it. That's exactly what it is.
Find Summer. Right. And you've just talked about some of those ideas today. Things that I don't think people have ever heard. Okay. And, those are the kind of things that make a difference. Yeah. Those are the kind of things that connect the dots. Okay. So sounds good. All right. So don't be hating on me.
Okay, buddy.
As we go through this, it's okay. It's part of the process. Is there anything Is there anything else you want to tell me before that I didn't ask you that you feel is important?
No, I think this guy, these detectives, I'd like to give you their number and see if they might not talk to you and give you some more insight.
Well, when you say these detectives, what are their names?
One's Michelle. They have a detective company and they have detectives working for them. And they're helping us for free as much as they possibly can. And they're trying to figure out stuff too, But I don't know all their names. I just know they've been with us since day one, and they've been really good to us. They haven't turned on us. They haven't, none of these things.
Right. And what's their theory?
Any information they collect, they turn to TBI. They give it all to TBI. But what TBI does with it, I have no clue.
Has TBI flushed through the information they've given them?
They say they are, but see, TBI took a lot of stuff out of our house. They turned our house upside down 6-7 times, over and over and over. Emptied my trucks out, threw everything on the ground, and left just.
Don says this all the time. TBI turned his house upside down, searched it 6, 7, 11 times, kicked the door in 6, 7, 11 times. Now, I would ask you, who else's door have they kicked in 6, 7, 11 times, turned their house upside down 6, 7, 11 times? Because I don't know of anyone, none other than them. And he says, and Candace, they've threw the stuff out in the yard countless times. Listen, if your daughter is missing and they are searching for her and you are innocent, I would be glad to put the tools up. I wouldn't be bitching about that. That would be the last thing I would be worried about. My casa, mi casa, su casa, right? What can I do? You want some biscuits? What you want? You want me cook you some supper? I mean, I'm not sure they would eat there, but that's what I would be offering. But Don and Candace, they're worried about their stuff being in the yard when it looks like the yard has been in their house because it's filthy. They don't seem like the type that seem to worry about that kind of stuff unless they have something to worry about.
I've been picking up this, but they took a bunch of stuff out of our house. And they left a list of the things they took, but the things they didn't list was our TV and her Canon camera that I bought her that has all kinds of pictures of Summer on there and all our kids is gone. And they didn't list that on the things that they took. And they're the only ones that have been in our house.
Okay. Okay, well, I don't, because I'm with the Cold Case Foundation on the side, right. We typically,
Giselle, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you, guys. If you was one of the lucky ones to get a membership from Giselle, please thank her. Very kind that they do this, and I love this that YouTube gives this option. So please thank Giselle. Thank you, Giselle. And Mama's the Boss. Thank you so much for celebrating. I can't remember how many months it was. But thank you so much for your membership here. I do appreciate it, my dear. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. Thank you.
With other, because they're working, your angle. Right. Maybe it's best just to have a couple of angles, floating here. Does that make sense? Yes, sir. And yes, sir. And that. I just want to get, you get a lot of resources on it, and then things can kind of fall into place. If you know what I mean? Yeah. Right.
Oh, that's another thing, beautiful sunflower. The Wells should have allowed the cold case foundation on Summer's case. Another red flag, right? Another red flag. Chris said, I'll just hook you up with him. I don't have to be involved with it. He's got plenty of cases that, he's working on with the cold case foundation and all that. Don't worry about me. We're just here to find Summer. That's it. All you got to do is make the call, Don and Candace. I mean, Don and Candace have had so many great opportunities for themselves and for Summer and their children, and they have rejected them. What? That so many people out here that are missing a child don't get, and they are just throwing him by the wayside. Why? Makes no sense. No sense to me. Peas in the hot black mount. Don't know what that means, Jesse, but thank you. It makes it just more red flags.
So,
besides, Chris never did anything to you to begin in the first place. The only thing he did was did an interview. You answered the questions and he showed what you allowed him to show. That's it. Don't be mad at him.
Well, we're hoping, by going public, and I'm not supposed to do this, but man, I just feel like it's going nowhere.
Right.
Beagle Mom celebrates 10 months. Thank you, Beagle Mom. Thank you, my love. Appreciate you. Justin, you're awesome, and mods are rock stars. They are rock stars. My greatest mods of all time. Thank you so much, Beagle Mom, for your support.
But these people, they're can be pretty, you guys and everybody else have done a lot of good, I think, or at least trying.
It is tiring, but it takes time, and summer's worth it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So if the right person is caught, again, what would you do to that person?
I would have to turn it over to the Lord, because the Lord says vengeance is mine. So I have to do that. I have to. God has changed my life.
I'm going to replay this. Hold on. Just this little bit.
Yes, but man, I just feel like it's going nowhere.
Right.
But these people, they're can be pretty, you guys and everybody else have done a lot of good, I think, or at least trying.
It is tiring, but it takes time, and summer's worth it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So if the right person is caught, again, what would you do to that person?
I would have to turn it over to the Lord, because the Lord says vengeance is mine. So I have to do that. I have to. God has changed my life, big time.
Would you forgive him?
Well, I would do my best. I would do my very best to try.
And why?
Because God tells us to.
Okay.
It's our duty. Okay. actually do it or not, it's a whole other story, you know.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It might take me the rest of my life to work on something like that.
Right. Do you have any questions of me, Don?
No, sir. Just if you want the women's number, I'll text it to you, and they might could give you some more insight. You know,
that's fine.
I don't know if you want it. They may or may not. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. You can text it to me. Are they in Are they in Tennessee?
No.
Where are they at?
No. You know, I'm not sure. I can't remember, but they're not in Tennessee, and I think their friends and stuff are all over the country. I believe.
Does the name? Yeah. What are some of the names connected to the number?
You know, I really don't know. But I know they've been really professional.
That's exactly right, JD. He also said props to his daughter who got Ard for not telling too. She took it like a champ, is what Don says. So let's get this straight. So Don says the person that did this to Summer, what should happen to them? Should they go to prison? I don't know, man. Prison, I've been there. You don't come out alive. What happens to his sisters that he did something to? Oh, they're not innocent. They knew what they were doing. They were 5 years old. His daughter, his oldest daughter, that got Ard multiple times. Oh, she took it like a champ. She didn't go whining, Don Wells says. What a nice person. What a nice person these people are taking up for. So good. Just a stand-up guy.
About everything, and they you know, but they have told me that they thought that your newscast or whatever, your podcast was pretty good. They have said that. So that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to call you. I kind of think I made a mistake and I misunderstood a few things, you know, so that's why I wanted to reach out to you.
Well, that's not a problem. I don't take anything personal. This is about your daughter.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
And you know, that's if we can help, we can help. And the one thing though that we do, and as you, I think, understand, is we go by facts and where the evidence takes an investigation. And that's why I don't like to get involved with, you know, people outside of the circle, because I'm here, and I got a pulse in a sense, and that way it saves a lot of grief. You know what I mean? For you,
yes, sir.
For you, me, for Summer, and it wastes a lot of time.
Yeah, you know, absolutely. I understand that for sure.
So, you know, time is of the essence. Could she still be alive in your heart?
You know, I pray for that, and I hope.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
But to me, it's one or the other because of the 4 dreams. To me, it's either someone that's got money has her somewhere and seen her on Facebook and felt sorry for her, or whatever.
Now, think about that. Think of what Don just said. It's someone that has money and they seen her on Facebook and they felt sorry for her. Why would someone feel sorry for her, Don, and the kids if they had a good life like you said they did? Because they didn't have a good life at all. They made the best of it. Kids, they make the best of what they got when they're in those situations. But even you said it could be someone who felt sorry for them. Now think about that, guys. And a well-to-do person, that would insinuate that she's been sold. Remember, it's one of your dreams.
Her reasoning is, or with her to get rid of evidence, and then were her last thoughts.
I'm going to back this up just
So
a
do you
second.
think they would have hurt her or they would have sold her?
More. I've seen her.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
But to me, it's one or the other because of the four dreams. To me, it's either someone that's got money has her somewhere. I've seen her on Facebook and felt sorry for her, whatever the reasoning is, or with her to get rid of evidence, and then were her last thoughts.
So do you think they would have hurt her or they would have sold her?
I think they probably would. I wouldn't. Who in the world? I wished I knew who would buy a kid. I wished I knew that. I really do.
Me too.
Because I would surely go after him.
Well, Don, Candace, go back to my playlist because I have certainly talked about people who have sold their children. Sure have. For debts, because they certainly just didn't want them. For many reasons. I don't have any idea if this happened to some or not. But it happens. It's rare, but it happens. Especially if you have a missing daughter and you're living in a trap house with children.
Yeah. I do too.
I wouldn't hesitate.
But I mean, I wonder who would buy a kid in this time.
Yeah, I know.
I just did a bunch of training for you ever heard of the Underground Railroad?
Yeah, I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, so I just trained some of those guys recently. And
wow.
In fact, I don't know, a couple months ago, I did a live of parents in Kingsport or Bristol. I think it was Kingsport, who sold their child to the S industry, and they're in prison now, where they should be. It took them 6 years to get them in prison, but they're in prison. They sold their child to the S industry. Right down the road from you guys.
About guys buying kids and
so where would you even look?
Well,
I got some places and they were just dumbfounded.
Yeah.
Don, you were the one that said you've been in hotels where horrible things were happening to kids. So you might be able to take someone there. Where were you whenever you saw these things happening to the horrible kids in hotels? Where were you? I mean, because I wouldn't know where to look, and most people here wouldn't know where to look. That's something only you could tell us. You're the one that said that you've seen things happen to children in hotels. So tell us, where did you? Don't ask Chris that question. That's on you, buddy. That's your words.
Well, there's all kinds of places that you can look, but
I even asked them if I could pose as a sicko for them and see what we could come up with. They're like, oh, no. Yeah.
Pose as a sicko. You don't need to pose.
But,
so you were going to pose as a molester?
If they would let me, if it helped catch some of these people or whatever, yeah. I mean, whatever. But I guess they don't have to do that. They do it online and stuff like that, I guess.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, and yeah, that's where guys like Stevie Eyes and guys like me and Coop and others and many others. Right. That's what we do. There's we.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I want to show you guys something of this poor child. Why the hell would you shave a little girl's hair off like this? To the scalp. My eye is twitching. It infuriates me so much. This is not a lice problem. This is a parent problem. Could be BC. It could be to disguise. It could be a lot of reasons. We don't know. Only Dawn and Candace know that. Could be Bet. This is our summer. All of ours. Who tirelessly, day in and day out, we keep her name out. And I hate the thought of a little girl who loved to wear dresses and was going to kindergarten. Was going to go like this. Amen, Joyce. She was failed. Whether, and I've said this till I'm blue in the face, and I'll say it till a billion times more, regardless, whether Dawn or Candace, Grandis did anything, they were neglected, and I will not ever support anyone that does that. And they haven't even tried to right their wrongs because they didn't fight after the children were away. They didn't fight to get them back because of their own addictions and their egos and selfishness. They won't go see a psychologist. They won't do the meetings. And that alone tells me what kind of human beings they are. It doesn't matter how many times they look into my eyes and they're nice to me. I don't give a crap if they're nice to me or not. Be good to your children. I'm just a stranger. Do it for your kids. But you don't, and you haven't, and you won't, and you didn't. You've failed miserably, and you've had chance after chance after chance, but you're in your drunken stupor, and you're not going to change after 60 years. You'll do it for a minute, and then it's back to square one. And the kids deserve security, love, and respect, as every child does. I'm sorry, Summer.
Well, that's what we do, and that's one part of it. And so, well, if something else comes up, I appreciate you calling for sure.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. Definitely. And if I was wrong about you, I do apologize.
Don't worry about me. I've been shot at before, so I'm good.
Wow.
If you're just mad at me, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So,
but do you want me to send you the detective's number? They've been working on it with us since day one. I mean, I don't know if that helped you. You want it or what?
Well, if you give me their names, I'm gonna look them up first.
And that's what they do.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they do.
Yeah, before I talk to anybody about.
But they haven't given me their full names, just the first name and only, and that's exactly what they would do. Look up everybody.
Then I probably won't call
them. Okay. Well, if you ever do want the number, or I'm gonna tell them that I talked to you and stuff and everything, let them know what's going on, like we always do. But so they may contact you if that's okay.
Well, if where are they from?
I'm not sure, buddy. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Okay, well, you nail that down. Give me. Don't give my number out because.
No, sir. I won't.
If they're legit, then if you share their name, then I'll know their shoe size.
Okay, buddy. But I'll talk to them and I'll ask you first if they want to talk to you.
That's fair enough.
Fair enough. Okay, sir. I appreciate your efforts, and I'm just hoping we can all come together. And
so put your seatbelt on for
sir.
Because we got to go through a process here.
Okay.
And people are gonna they're gonna throw you under the bus. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Okay, bud. Okay. Well, we're kind of getting used to it. So.
Well, and then the next one we got to think through is Grandma, and then of course I think Candace is people are going, oh okay, we're there. So anyway, life goes on. Stay the course. Call me if you have any different angle or information.
Okay, sir. You have a good day, buddy. We'll talk to you later, okay?
Thanks, Don. Have a good one.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Bye.
I would like to thank Chris from the interview room for doing this. It's still the foundation that we have for knowing a lot that we know now and seeing with our own eyes and hearing with our own ears. So thank you, Chris, from the interview room. If you haven't subscribed to him, please do. So yeah, that's it. I don't like to see someone throw Don under the bus that takes him to court in front of a jury that finds him guilty and serves him with life. Yeah. But that's why I can't support Don and Candace because of those reasons. Because of the neglect. I mean, Candace could be they could be completely fabricating the stories, and the kids could have all been there alone and an accident happened, or someone went up on that hill. But regardless, they neglected the children, and she would be lying. And there's so many Summers out there. And there's a lot of kids, boys and girls out there that are like this. And it's, it's America. It's sad to see this. Thank you, Scorpio, for 15 months, my love. I love you. Thank you very much. Appreciate your support. Scorpio, amen. Yeah. Guys, that's all for this one. I will be live tomorrow at some point on one of the two channels. If you haven't subscribed to my fun channel, it's where you get to see a little more wacky Justin. It's where I be silly and just talk about all different things. If you want to see me over there, it's called Clutch Them Pearls. The mods can put links in there. Sorry, that was my mother-in-law. Yeah, I don't like to mix seriousness and true crime. The victims, in my opinion, they deserve full attention without any type of BS around it. So I love you all. I really do appreciate you all. Thank you for being here for me and specifically for Summer and all of these victims. It means a lot, truly. God bless each and every single one of you. You could have chosen to be anywhere in the world this evening, and you chose to be right here, and I'm thankful for that, truly. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.